Alrighty, what's up folks? So in this video today, I will be showing you how to basically take your UV slider from a 3-pin horizontal to a, let's say if you like, you like a vertical pin better. So this is a 3-pin vertical. I recently purchased this, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be setting this up for my slider to get my sight tape matched up with my indicator needles, and also I'm going to be changing this fibers. I don't think I'm going to do all of them. I think what I'm going to change is just the middle yellow. I'm going to change the yellow to I think a green, and then I'm going to take the one from the green up here on the top and I'm going to change that to blue. I might throw in a red. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see when we get there. I do have different fibers for it, so we'll see once I get it. When we get there, we'll go. But yeah, I got the case here. So what we'll do for now is talk about how you get it when you order the slider. Most people, you guys know, you order the slider. This is the side mount for the bow. Um, I didn't have this Alpha X at the time. What I had was a Hoyt Power Max, so it didn't have the integration for a pick mount in the front. So I went with the side mount, and basically this is how it comes out of the package, out of the box. You got your green, your top green, your yellow fixed center, and then your bottom adjustable green to match up here. You have your top green, your yellow fixed, and then your bottom green, and then you have a bonus pin. Well, most people don't know to use this bonus pin. You know, there are instructions in the case that you use, but they don't tell you that right here. Well, you only have 3 pins here, three sight indicator here, and there's 4 pins here. Well, inside your spare parts kit that you get, you have the bonus pin inside the parts kit. Where did I put it? Oh, don't tell me I dropped it. Oh no, it's right here. Yeah, it's in my parts kit. Okay. In your parts kit, you have miscellaneous screws, Allens, an extra level, a little rubber cover that goes inside the scopes. But in here, this is the double pin indicator for your fixed and your bonus pin. So we're going to install that right now. So what I like to do is we'll just take it off the scope, and you just unlock it, slide it down. I put my rail aside, and as you can see here, I put it back to stock. You can actually kind of see right here, you see this bottom bracket, how it goes to the bottom, but there's not really a tooth there. So what we got to do is there's 4 screws here. These two will, you break those loose and you'll be able to adjust the green up and down. You break that one loose and it breaks the bottom green up and down to be able to adjust them. But the 2 top screws, this is Torx up top and then a Torx right here at the bottom. So for those of you who have the Ridge wallet, this screw comes for the plates on the Ridge wallet, and it has the Torx that you need. The UV doesn't come with the screwdriver for it, the Torx bit for it, but all you do is you just break the screws loose, remove them, and then you'll put the double pin yellow indicator in its place. And I'll show you once I get it off. Be sure you put your screws in a safe spot so you don't lose them. I have this knock-on archery pad here that I, kind of keeps them from rolling off the table. So this is what it looks like. You got a little single pin indicator there, and it's raised right here. So what I do is you just pull it off, comes right out. You get the double pin, and you place it in you basically put it in its place. Okay, there you go. And now, being that this is the right hand variation, it's going to go on the bottom position. Obviously, you want to mirror this image right here. See the red, this one is now orange. Like I said, I changed it to Hunter Orange, and the bottom one is still yellow on the bonus pin. But you put it to where the indicators are facing in. Now, if you had a left hand version, that's all it is a swap like this, and the left hand version will go on the bottom. You know what I mean? But being that this is the right hand version, that's how that goes. And then there. Now you just reinstall your adjustable green bracket. And if you do this multiple times, I recommend that you get a little bit of like blue thread lock and, you know, clean up the excess old thread lock and add just a little bit on there, because you don't want it on there permanently unless you don't, you know, you're just going to change it once and never mess with it again. But, you know, I like to tinker around, so I like to change my setup. I do plan on changing this UV3 XL to the CBE 3V, but on that one you have to buy the whole scope. They don't sell just the scope separate. You got to buy the whole slider and everything. So what I plan on doing is buying that, taking this scope off. I will put this scope on the CBE adjustable mount, and then put the CBE scope on this, because I really love the dial here. I mean, they really nailed it here. So I did change out this black wheel to, I mean, the gray wheel to black. You know, I think it looks real nice. But there you have it. Now you have the 4 pins. You have your, you know, your green, your yellow, your green, your yellow. Now, this is what I'm not going to do, because, you know, I don't want to take it out right now, because then it's going to mess with my green. But all you got to do is, when we're changing over to this, you know, that's how you install it if you're going to be using the 4 pin, or basically the 3 pin horizontal with the bonus pin. Being that I am changing this scope, I guess I'll just do that now for you guys so I can show you on the body what it looks like. If I can get the right Allen. Right here on the side, we're gonna be removing this front one. So you just loosen it, and it doesn't come all the way out, but you just loosen it till it stops, and pull out your 3 pin vertical, your 3 pin horizontal. Now we are done there. You know, you put your 3 pin vertical in its place, and then now this is where a lot of people get lost. So because of I think because of the color coordination, it is no longer yellow, green, yellow. It is green, yellow, green. And here it throws people for a loop, because you want to go green, yellow, green. This top pin is no longer in service. You won't use this. So the best thing, if you guys are getting confused, is take it out completely and remove it. If you're going to be running the 3 pin vertical, you just take off the bracket, loosen the screw, remove the top green. Or I guess I can do it, watch. I'll just do it. I told myself I wasn't going to, but being that I'm using the vertical pin anyway, I guess it doesn't hurt me to take it out right now anyway. So I guess I should have done that when I was installing the yellow, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like once you get it all, when you get your bonus pin and your fixed pin little chingadera installed. Now this is okay, so it's the top screw. Got to make sure you take off the right one. So this is the one we're going to be removing right here. So you get your Allen, and the UV kit comes with the Allens that you need, but it doesn't come with the Torx to take off this bracket. That's the only thing that sucks. Oh, where is it? And I think I actually put it in my Bino case. Yep, I put it in my Bino case. Give me one sec. There's my box of archery stuff there in the corner. Yeah, I'm always putting different tape plates on, so I run the Allen in the back of my Bino harness. Let me put that to the side. Okay, so top pin, break it loose, and then take the screw and indicator completely out, and so I don't lose it, I'm going to reinstall the screw into the indicator. There we go. See, we got it installed in there, and I'm going to reinstall it. I mean, re-put it in my parts case so that I always have it with me if I want to go back on the fly if I change up again. So then, you know, now that is my bottom green adjustable and no longer a top, so we can't get confused no longer. I know a lot of people on the videos, you know, get real confused, ask questions on the forums about how they get their vertical to line up and shoot it in this way and do this. And I mean, a lot of them, they're not wrong. I mean, some people find different ways of doing things. You know, getting A to B, there's not one way getting there. You know, you can take a bunch of turns, you can do a bunch of stuff. It really doesn't matter. But, you know, you see, you know, when I lost my screws now. Okay. So yeah, there's no right or wrong way. People do it differently, but I mean, I guess it all depends on how you got where you're at with this sight. When I first set it up, shooting at 20 and then, you know, finding your 20 mark, setting that, you know, aligning that with your target tape indicator tape at your 20, and then you jump back to 60 and find your 60. They should have stated, you know, that'll just give you a rough idea. What you should do is, you know, get a general idea, you know, get it on there, and then jump back and shoot longer distances, whatever you feel comfortable with. Because what you think you get a sight tape from 20 to 60, it's wrong once you start stepping back to about 100, 120. And if you don't shoot that far and you're only planning shooting 60 and in, then okay, that's fine. But if you're planning on going and shooting long distance, the best thing to do is to shoot, get a regular tape on there, whatever number it may be, and then step out. You know, don't think of it as that's concrete, that's solid, that's perfect. You need to shoot like 100, 120, you know, whatever the furthest is you can feel comfortable, and then mark where you're hitting on that. Like for instance, if you're shooting 120 and at 120 yards, and then on your sight tape you're shooting 123 or 118, just mark it. You know, my 120 equals 118 on the tape. Then go home and mark a line for 20, a line for 60, a line for 100, a line for 20, 120, whatever you're going to shoot. Because what I do is I get those little lines and I slide them across the tapes till I get where all those indicators match up. And then that's how I get the most accurate sight tape from the UV tapes, without using no chronograph or nothing like that. It's okay, just go ahead. So there we go. Now we have a 3-pin sight. We have a 3-pin here and a 3-pin here. It's just they are opposite colors now. So that's the only thing that throws people off. But the sighting process is still the same. This top pin is your fixed. This is your fixed. It's just, you know, when you take out the green, it makes the top green, it makes everything so much simpler. Everybody thinks, oh, well, the green is on top, then I got to sight in with my adjustable. No, that's not the case. You still sight in with your green center fixed and your top green pin, because that is still your center pin. And then, you know, you don't worry about these 2 pins down here or these 2 down here. You shoot your top pin, your top dot, and your top indicator once you have removed your top green adjustable, so that's out of the way. Once you get a sight tape, these 2 are always the same as the top green and the bottom green. Those changes always match up with this top yellow and this bottom yellow. What you're gonna have to do is shoot in your middle dot or place it over the sight tapes, and whichever, you know, number that this yellow hits, you move this green to. and that'll be the same distance here. You can use like my father, he used a micrometer and got the distance from the dots, and then kind of adjusted the green one to that. Me, what I plan on doing is I'm just gonna overlay this scope over a tape and overlay it and basically adjust this to there. But moving on, now that we got that installed, I don't like the fiber, the yellow fiber. The green fiber works okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna mess with that, but I don't like the yellow. So I'm gonna change the yellow, because like when I shoot 3-spot, the gold rings, the 9, the 10, and the X, they're yellow. So you get, it washes out. I do like that the green one is on top, but I want to change the top one to blue, maybe put the bottom one to green, and then maybe add in the red here at the very, very, very bottom. I'm not too sure yet. I think I'll just probably switch the yellow, just drop the green one down and put the blue in. So we're done with this for now. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to switch the fibers on this. So this is how you're gonna start out. What I like to do first is I like to unwind the fiber tube with the fibers in it out of the case here. So you start from the end, and then we're just basically gonna push it out of the case. I was able to buy this sight from my father for 40 bucks, or this scope cartridge, because he recently switched to the Dark Owl Stealth 31, and the light that thing gathers is amazing. Even indoor, that thing is super, super bright. It is a small housing. He likes the vertical pin here, but he wanted a smaller, I think, pin gaps on his. So he went with the Stealth 41, which is a smaller housing and smaller pin gap. Because when he used this for hunting, he bought it for hunting and ended up using the horizontal because he wanted a smaller grouping. So he had no use for this anymore. So he was trying to sell it. I told him, well, I want to do a fiber change video on it, and I never got around to doing it when you owned it. So how about you just sell it to me, and I can own it and I can customize it the way I want to. So, but if you guys are interested, hit up Dark Owl Archery. They do sell some customizable scopes that look really, really, really nice. They have a 31 millimeter cartridge, which would be the same as like the UV3, not the XL, but the UV3, and something similar to this, which is like a 41, I believe, is the Stealth 41 from their Dark Owl. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure, but they do offer 2 sizes of the scopes. And one thing I just learned recently is I didn't know this, but Podium Archer on their last podcast, or Tim and Josh, their last podcast, I don't know when this video is going to come out, but we are already the November 1st. This was a podcast that was done the Monday before, which I don't know the exact date. I think it was, I don't know. What does it say? November? The Monday right here. They're obviously backlogged, I think, a week, or 2 weeks. But the 28th, the YouTube podcast that came out with Josh and Tim on the 28th, they talk about how fibers, when you bend a fiber 90 degrees, you kill the fiber in it. Not necessarily break it or compromise it for its integrity, but when you bend it 90 degrees, it sucks the light out of the fiber. And this UV scope has, this one itself, this one has it goes out here, bends 90 degrees, goes down, bends another 90 to go out, bends another 90 to come back in, and then bends another 90 to go into the bottom of the scope, then bends another 90 to go into the tracks. So I mean, right there, I mean, I don't know if that's what's killing the light on this scope or what it is. At first, we thought it was this tubing, but when you, because it looks like a bluish, it looks like it's not clear, like it's not transparent 100%. Like for instance, my father, he purchased the Dark Owl Archery fiber change kit, and it comes with the spare tubing, which is clear. I mean, crystal clear. So that's another video for the future. We're going to switch his over to the fibers he ordered, to the orientation he likes. And it comes with a clear tubing. So I think this might have somewhat to do with it, but I've never tested it, so I don't know for sure. I can't say that for sure. I mean, it's the background, the light that I have here, it's kind of shiny, but there's the tubing with the fiber in it, and as I remove it, see, you can see there's like a bluish tint to this tubing. It's not like transparent 100%. So I don't know if that's what's eating it up or not, but it just kind of does. It does suck that you have to go through. I mean, I like tinkering, I like customizing, so it doesn't bother me that I can change the fibers on this scope. But if it was, that's the only option you get, you can't change it, you can't customize it, then I'd be really upset. I'd probably go a different route. But being able to customize my own stuff really does, benefit, because I mean, I don't like having the same stuff. You walk around the archery range and you see everybody has the same UV scope, the same colors. The only thing that is different between all of us is maybe your the coloration that you have on your insert for your scope. But I mean, everybody can pick, everybody can choose from the same color. So now the optics that I get, that I order from the website that I order from a company called Nano Optics, and you will see here in a second when I get out the envelope for the optics. But that's who I get my fibers from. They're $10 a fiber, and see, they bend so much that the fiber gets weak and it breaks. I mean, from bending it and bending it and bending it so many times, it weakens the fiber, and now that fiber's gone. So that could be contributing to, your light loss. And I thought about just, I'm not going to bend it that many times. I'm not. I'm going to try it and see how it works. I'm going to go in one little loop. I might leave excess in the back, and then go straight down with it, or like kind of arch down into the scope and then straight around. I'm not going to bend it, do all this crap. I'm not going to do that. And they may have done that to keep the fibers tight and from unwinding, but for $10, I'll redo it if it comes out bad. You know what I mean? So this is kind of trial and error. This is, kind of doing it the opposite way of how they installed it. Finding my own ways. So let's see. Yep, see, and they have it in here so tight that more than likely I think I'm probably going to end up ruining these fibers, when you could, in other scopes you could probably reuse them. But I have enough anyways. I have green, I have orange, I have red, I have blue. And I mean, they have different sizes. Nano Optics also offers different sizes too. They don't have, they have, I think the smallest one they have is 10 thousandths. I think the UV on the bonus pin, on this one on the bottom, is actually 9 thousandths, but the 10 thousandths fits in there very. I changed out my dad's on his horizontal to red, and the 10 thousandths fiber fits in there perfect. Alrighty, so now that we got it out, you can kind of see in here, they're kind of straight back. See that? And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically take them out of the blade. I'll feed it through the front. And remove the top fiber. Now the yellow one, like I said, they bent it so many times, I don't think I'm going to be able to reuse it. Or, I mean, the yellow one I wasn't going to reuse, but that green one, I don't think I'm going to be able to reuse it because they bent it so much. So I have green that I'll probably have to replace there too. And I have enough green to do both greens, thank God, because I originally purchased a green to redo it on my scope. But I ended up just keeping the two greens and only replacing the center orange because at the time I liked only shooting the center orange. So there you go. Now you just have the blade, no fibers in. And what I found works out the best is when you get your fiber, your new fiber, is flaring the end before. I don't know how well this one, see, that's the fiber there. I don't know how well the stock UV fiber flares, but let me see. Hold on a second. Should have grabbed the lighter. Shit, I don't know where my fucking, I don't know where the lighter's at. I'm gonna need it though. I thought I had one. Oh yeah, here it is. I found it like a little crack lighter, the little cheap ones, but what'd you find, a bit? Oh, you don't have like a bit though? Or what do you have? Nah, this will work, I think. As long as it wasn't in there. No, I have a lot of fluid in it. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit this video, but. I decorated your pumpkin. Looks nice, baby. What is it? A monster?
I did the cheese, ginger did the milk, and I did the eyes and the
Pupils and the orange dot, the purple dots. Nice, baby.
And I did the teeth, and I did the base.
Nice.
All of them are missing.
Nice.
I put all of them like that.
Alrighty, good job. Alrighty, so what you do is you don't put it in the fire, you just put it next to it and it flares. I don't know if you caught that, it's kind of too, I don't think it'll focus, but now you can kind of see it's like the head of a nail. It puts a little like a nail head on it where it flares out just the ends. If you do it again and you burn it a little more, see how bright that fiber is? If you do it a little more, then I found that it puts like a burnt plastic and you lose brightness on it. So the best thing to do is once you see it flare, do not try to do it again to see if you can flare it more. So you take it, let it flare the head, and that's it. Do not mess with it again. Don't try to do it again or nothing, because if you do, like I said, you're gonna lose a lot of light. If you do mess up and it's not right or it breaks off, you know, then just cut it off and then redo it. But yeah, so Nano Optics, really great product. I mean, here is the fibers that they come with. Now these, I asked him if he can send me a sample pack so that I can get, you know, people to look at them in their hand, put them, and see how bright they are. So, I mean, here we have, this one is red, green, blue, hunter orange, and yellow. He sent me these, and I think this pack is 29 thousandths. So I don't know which scope that these will fit, but I just use this as a sample pack for people to pick the colors, you know, so. But what I purchased in the past before, like this was my dad's 10 thousandths that we changed his bonus pin. You can see up here, they do come labeled. It comes in a 40 inch length fiber, so color red, and this is 10 thousandths that you only needed, like for instance, you know, this is the whole thing. This is maybe you know, 12 inches long, maybe, but you know, you don't need no more than that. I mean, one of the greens broke. Okay, so maybe this one, so maybe they're like 14 inches total in fiber, but you got enough here to do it. All of them come in I think the smallest length they have is 40 inches. So all the ones that I got are all 40-inch fibers. So here's the green that I was gonna use before and I didn't. So that's what I'm gonna use today. I'll put that one aside. We're gonna do 2 greens, and I believe this is the blue. This is the blue that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna tell you something. If you're gonna use the blue, if you go with blue, it is good, but only if you're gonna use the light that's on a scope, or you know, if you guys have a rechargeable button light or whatever you use for light to light up the fibers, because the blue does not really gather light that well through the tubing. When you add light to it, it does work really good. And I think a lot of companies are like that. Like if you change the fibers, they recommend for use with light, artificial light, like you know, your button light, you know, the light in the scope, because these do this color right, it doesn't really grab light that well. I mean, we are indoors. You saw the light on the other one. And see, like, you don't see nothing right now, but if let's see if I can do this. I don't know if it'll work. All right, see there. Now, use with the light, you can see it very, very, very bright. I like that for Target, for paper, indoor paper. See, light off, and I have the whole strand out gathering light. It does not gather light at all until you actually add light to it. Now, for instance, I mean, you know, you have your yellow right here in the light. You can see that it's already emitting the little yellow dot. So, you know, you can see it in there. When I turn on the light, see, that's why I don't like the yellow. It's even with the light, it's not really that bright at all either. So that's why, and it blends in with the paper face. So I don't like that. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna gather 3 fibers, and I'm gonna flare the ends all out of all 3 fibers. So let me put some of this stuff aside. Okay. All right. Now, let's see which way. Okay, we do it this way. Yeah, because this goes inside. So you got to figure out the orientation. So obviously this side, this is the outer edge. So this, you want to feed it in this way into the inside of the scope. Fiber in this way. But let's flare it first. Don't mess with that girl, okay? Okay, so see, I think I flared that one a little too much. That's why I don't like these lighters. They're kind of weak. Well, if it's not the same, then yeah, but huh? Okay, try it one more time. There we go. That one worked out better. You can't really tell. I can't really zoom in too well, but I mean, the white background doesn't really help out at all. Let me see if I can line it up with the creases on my forehead. Yeah, you can't really line it up. Maybe my mustache is a little darker, but you just want it, literally as slow as you can till it actually flares. Thank you. Perfect. A real lighter. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to feed the tail end into the one that I want. So obviously this is blue, so I'm going to put it in my top pin. Remember, in this way. Huh? Whichever's easier. I guess quesadilla. Oh, that's why. This end is not exactly. There we go. Alrighty. Now be careful when you get to the end, because if you pull too hard, you will pull it through the housing. So there, see? Now we have it there on the top one. Now I'm not gonna put it all and run it through the whole thing just yet. I'm gonna kind of just leave it there for now until we get the other two fibers in. So I'm gonna put it off to the side. Okay, now where's my green? Here's the green. So this one is a new one. I haven't yet opened this. I haven't seen exactly how it actually does in the light, but these fibers were definitely an upgrade compared to the ones that were in the one. And now I don't know if UV ended up like, because there for a while everybody was complaining that they couldn't see the pin, you know, that the fibers weren't real bright. And I don't know if they took everybody's advice and they changed it without saying anything, but then I noticed that people stopped complaining about it. And you know what I mean? But we bought ours early. Me and my dad, we bought ours like, I think was on batch 3 when he got his Matthews version. Because he had to get the bridge lock. And I ordered mine from Shields, so and mine shipped. I ordered it on a Tuesday and I got it on a Saturday, I think, or Monday the following week or something. I mean, it was real quick. So I mean, he was real jealous that, you know, it came in that quick. He was all upset because he still had to wait. He ordered his bow, I think, in January, and he didn't get his bow till I think March, and his sight didn't come in till like June or something like that. So it was a long time till he got the bridge lock batch. So yeah, see, that's better. Now is where you got to be careful. Now that's more heat. There, see? When you barely flare it, it flares up real nice to the point where, you know, you can put it in the scope perfect. Now the thing is I'm probably gonna have to cut this one in half and probably cut it again because I need this same green twice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Alrighty, there we go. Now what I'm gonna do is where's my flared one? Okay, this is my flared one. I'm gonna feed this one through my scope right away. I mean, it is kind of tough because those tolerances are tight. There we go. Now see, you can see here, just gathering the natural light. I mean, there's no scope on this at all. There's no light, just the light that's in here. And I mean, you can see how much brighter that green is compared to, for instance, this is the green that came out of the UV. And I mean, we're exposed green. You can see how much more brighter that green is. And they're not bigger fibers. They're the same diameter of fiber, but that green is significantly brighter. So, I mean, if you like the green, the yellow, that's perfect. But I would definitely go with Nano Optics as your fiber supplier. So. Sure. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking to make sure that there's no kinks in it, because if they are, I'm gonna try to put that at the end so that that's where they cut off. You know, so let me. I think I cut this end, so. There we go. See, bright. Much needed upgrade. Perfect. Now I got all three of my fibers. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them down into my. Oh, I guess I have to bend them one more time. I don't want to. See, I wish I can kind of keep it like this, but it's gonna interfere with the actual scope itself on how it slides in, so we can't do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna very carefully have to feed it through these holes, and I really don't want to do 90s, but I guess I'm gonna have to try and follow the same path that they did without bending it too much, because I don't want it to break. Okay. See, so what I'm doing is in here, so there's the two holes at the base. You got to go basically make a U-turn, go in it, and then back out again. Yeah, so you go in to the inside of the scope when you first put the fiber, then you come towards the outside of the scope, and then back in the scope in order to make your 90-degree bend. Which, see, I don't get why they do so many bends. I mean, it's, no, I'm lying. See, I put them in backwards. Dang it. I'm gonna have to edit that. So they go the opposite direction. That's probably why I was having a hard time. That's why I was having a hard time getting them probably in the pin, because they were backwards. Okay, so they go in this way, because this is what you're going to see in the back. Makes sense now. Yeah, see, so I put them in the wrong way. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since I done this scope, or a scope like this. I did my UV slider and my dad's UV slider when we first got them, and I haven't done another one since then, so it's kind of hard. People don't really like to, you know, people really don't trust people these days, and I don't blame them, the world we live in now. But there. So now, there, the fibers, because this is how you're going to look at it this way, obviously, through your scope. So I had put them in originally the wrong way. So, yeah. Now, you got to feed them through the top hole, then U-turn, then back out that hole, and then down the case. I really don't like them bent that much, so I'm just going to try to only do a little bend. I don't know if I can go straight down, how well that'll, guess we can try going straight down. Yeah, I guess straight down don't look too bad. I don't know why they didn't do that to begin with. And like other scopes, you can see the fibers, like, behind the blade and stuff. So I don't understand why. And if anything, that just allows for more light to gather on the pin than versus you tucking it in real. I guess maybe because overall that probably might affect the durability of it if it's exposed more to the elements. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know if they tested it with the fibers exposed or not, but all right. See, I don't have a problem with it looking like that because I mean, when it's in the scope, I don't believe I'm gonna have a hard time, like with the fibers getting in the way. Because I mean, the way you're supposed to shoot a target or a scope, you're not supposed to focus on your pin. Your pin should be blurred in the background. But I guess maybe if it is blurred. No, you won't see it because the whole fiber ain't light up. Yeah, so I'm just kind of overthinking it. Yeah, so I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to eat dinner and then I'm going to come back. So, yeah, part 2.